Hello and welcome to PVAMU's Coaches Corner, the show where we talk to the coaches and get an update on what's been going on in the season, what's been happening in the off season, and what's to come next season. And today joining me, we have coach of the soccer team, Coach Sonia Cavallo. Coach, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing great. Coach, thank you for joining us, and we're going to get right into it because the first question would be, what has the off-season looked like for you, and what have you been focusing on during this off-season?
The off-season has been focused on a lot on strength and conditioning. I think this is the time of year where we can push them in that area where we don't always have games in every Friday, Sunday on the weekends. So it's been nice to, really get the players into the weight room at least 4 times a week.
Right.
And also being able to get them training on the field as well. So we have a smaller number in the spring than we do typically in the fall because we have a lot of seniors that have graduated. Right. So, it's been nice to get the players in. With the smaller amount, we are able to do a lot of reps in a short amount of time to get the most out of the players in the spring as well.
Right. Now, Coach, you talk about having a lot of seniors graduating, a lot of graduate students, and they're going off. You got players like, Quinn Josiah, Kalia Brown, Sonia Fuentes, key contributors to the team. So, and most of them, some of these graduating seniors were here when you first came to PV. So what can you say about that class that's leaving PV right now?
I think they're a very strong class, great people, strong leadership that came from that group. And, I think they've done a great job to really set the example, the tone for our women's soccer program and building it to a championship program.
Right.
And I think they've done a great job also mentoring the younger players as well and provided, that installed perseverance in them to continue on and make sure that the program stays strong in the future as well.
Right, Coach, and we talk about the future because, you have 11 players leaving, and those going to be some big shoes to fill. So what faith do you have in these new kids coming up that they can take over?
Yeah, we'll start with the returners. I think the returners is a strong foundation that we can continue to build off of. And then the new players that we've signed are going to come in and make an immediate impact. We're continuing to recruit a higher caliber player every single year, and I think they're going to come in and be able to play right away. But I'm very, very excited about the future, especially our returners. Our returners are very motivated. They want to continue to win championships and compete in the NCAA tournament.
Right. Now, Coach, earlier you talked about establishing that winning culture, and you've been here for 4 years. You came here in 2018, and you've won the SWAC championship 2 out of those years. But tell me what did it take to establish that culture for you?
It was day one, talking about winning a SWAC championship. I remember getting on campus and having my first team meeting with my team, and that's, just sending that message across, but being able to do the work day to day, to get there. We set daily goals to make sure that we achieve them, and when you see that progress and that development, allows them to stay focused and motivated to want to achieve that next 1% to become better. So, I think with all of the work that not only that we do on the field, the special topics that we do in the classroom, sports psychology, and also the strength and conditioning, all played an important part. So when you put all those pieces together, it makes all the biggest difference, and now you're seeing all the results now too.
Right, and Coach, we do see the results, and we talked about those returning players, but when we get specific, we just had Andrea Nugent on the show. She won the SWAC Defensive Player of the Year, 5-time Defensive Player of the Week, outstanding awards. And then we talk about, let me get her name right, Savannah Powell. Yeah. I mean, a freshman came in doing all these amazing things, lead the team in goals, lead the teams in points, was the SWAC Tournament Player of the tournament, excuse me. So how confident is it for you to know that you have such great players returning to the team?
Yeah, I think it's huge. I think when you look at Savannah, I've had a chance to see her years ago before she started playing for putting a PV shirt on.
Okay.
And You know, I knew she's going to be great. She hasn't even hit her peak yet. She's just a freshman. So I know that when she was going to score that first one, the second one was going to come, the third one, the fourth one. She scored 6 goals later in the season there. And I think she's going to be big time for us as we go on throughout her 3 years. With Andrea, you know, she does her job, and she does her job great. And I think she's going to continue to break records in that area of the field, and not just at Prairie View in the conference, and I wouldn't be surprised in the country.
Right. Now, Coach, you said something that was pretty interesting. You said that you saw Savannah playing before, much longer before she put a PV shirt on. So take me behind the scenes into your recruiting process.
Yeah, I actually saw Savannah. She's from Texas, but I was out recruiting in California, and they had a team out there, and I just wanted to, like, drop by just to see what they had. And she was young. She was like 14, 15 years old at the time. And, you know, we were just happy that, you know, she was able to come here. We were able to bring her on campus right away as soon as she was allowed, at that time, grade 11 year, which is junior in high school. So, you know, and she was able to commit. She wanted to come to PV, and she really set the tone and the standard for a freshman as well, especially in her position, in her role. But she's going to be somebody that I think is going to be great for our program, and will make a major impact in our conference as well as for Prairie View soccer.
All right, Coach. Now, and we talk about her contributions to the SWAC championship, but when we talk about that game specifically, I mean, everybody was on the edge of their seats. I mean, when it came down to that late game penalty kick, what was going through your mind at that time?
Yeah, I was just, you know, just thinking. I was just like, my keeper is going to make the play. Kalia is going to make the play in that final penalty kick. So I have full confidence in my players and my staff that they're going to do the best they can. And I had confidence that Kalia was going to make the play. Right.
Now, Coach, I mean, you guys had a stellar season last year. I mean, you won the SWAC championship, outstanding record. But I mean, if there was any room for improvement, what would you think that would be?
I think a big thing too is being able to get a result in that non-conference game away. You know, when we opened up, I only had the players for about a week and a half before we opened up, and a lot of those non-conference schools bring their players in for the month of July, so they're already working on strength and conditioning and had that advantage over us. However, we were very competitive from the get-go, and not giving up that own goal with 30 seconds left. But I think that's going to be the key going into the future, because I did position our team to where we are playing more non-conference games also away, because we don't know where the SWAC tournament's hosting their championships, so it could be away and maybe at Prairie View again, we're not sure. So I want to make sure, like, next year we got to get those W's on the road. It's always hard to play away from home, but we have to find a way to be on top in those games.
Right, Coach. And I know that you've played some professional soccer in your career. So tell me, what do you say to those players, right? Because you say that the away games, they bring a different side to them. So what is it that you try to instill into them to get them prepared for those type of games and throughout the season?
Yeah, I think one of the things that we always talk about too is, you know, when we get a game on the road, is trying to score first. I think if you put yourself in those situations, you know, we have a higher chance of winning the match. And I think it's important that you know, we continue to talk about those things, but also execute those plays when we need to, especially when you're inside the 18. I think we took a lot of shots on goal last year, and we just have to make sure that we get them on target, but in the back of the net more consistently.
Right, Coach. Now, when we start looking towards at these improvements that could be made for next season, and we look at next season in general, you have 6 new signees coming in for during the fall. So what do you feel that they can contribute? Could they possibly be, you know, immediate contributors to the team?
Yeah, I do believe it. I think the caliber of recruits coming in are going to be able to play right away. You know, whoever's fit and is ready to go and took care of business in the summer, they have an opportunity to play for Prairie View soccer. And you know, we're very selective of who we bring into our program. We want to make sure they're competitive academically they're strong and know what they want and work hard. As long as they're focused and the mindset's right, which I expect them to be at that level coming in, I expect any player that on my team to be able to play.
Right. Now, Coach, like I mentioned before, we talked to Andrea Nugent a little bit before in the studio, and I asked her what would she say to those new recruits coming in, and I asked that same question to you. What would you say to those new recruits coming in, watching right now, to get their minds right, to get their body right for next season?
It's just prepare, complete the strength and conditioning packet, play as much soccer as you can in the summer, and just stay focused, set little goals daily so that you can achieve them. But physically, you have to be fit to go into a preseason where you're doing 2-a-days in some situations. So that your body can recover quicker. I think that's the biggest thing, and being able to prepare in the heat as well, but making sure that your nutrition's right, you're making sure you're drinking lots of water as well when you're going through difficult training.
Right, Coach. Now, we talked about the players, but I just want to ask one question about you specifically. I asked you this before the show, but because you're from Canada, so what made you come to PV and to start coaching women's soccer?
Yeah, what made me come to Prairie View, there's an athletic director that was here that wanted to bring me in as the head women's soccer coach. So I used to work with him at a previous HBCU program at Mesquite Valley State University. So I had always a great relationship with him. So he's the one who actually reached out with the opportunity that opened up here. So when I came down for my visit, I loved the campus, I loved the people. And I thought it was a special place. The facilities is very nice for a student athlete as well as just a regular student as well. And I think it's an opportunity to grow a program that's never won a championship. I'm always motivated to want to break records. That's just in my DNA, and a strong competitor, and they've never done it before. So that was one of the biggest things that wanted to really make history here for Prairie View and for Prairie View women's soccer. Right,
Coach. And I got to be honest with you, Coach. I'm very encouraged hearing you say that, and I know the alumni watching or the parents watching are encouraged to hear that. You know, we want to break records here at PV when it comes to our soccer team. And I guess my last question to you would be, to those parents watching, to those alumni watching, to those future students watching, what can we expect from the soccer team come next season?
We're going to continue to improve. I think last year was just the beginning. I still feel like we're still at the beginning. There's a lot of areas that we can grow in. Right now, we're almost 100 spots in RPI with another SWAC school, but I want us to get closer to breaking top 100 in the country. So the closer we get to number one, you know, I think that's really setting a different standard than any other school that's been able to do it. Right now, we are one of the highest seeds ever in SWAC for soccer. So we want to make sure we win the SWAC tournament again. And you know, I've never asked my team to go undefeated. I just want us to play the best soccer we possibly can, give a great show for our fans, and continue to make history here.
All right, Coach. I really appreciate you joining us today. I mean, I really thank you for that. Coach Sonia Cavallo, coach of the women's soccer team. You won the SWAC championship last year, and we expect nothing less come this season. After the break, we're going to be interviewing the baseball coach, Coach Antoine Riggins. Stay tuned for Coach's Corner. Hello and welcome back to Coach's Corner. Joining me right now is the coach of the baseball team, Coach Antoine Riggins. Coach, how you doing today?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
I'm good, Coach. It's always good. It's always good talking to you. So, Coach, we're gonna get right into it because I was at the game yesterday when you played Jarvis Christian, and it was a bit tough for the first game, right? You had a few errors late game that may have cost the team a little bit more innings than wanted to be played. So in the next game, in the doubleheader, you guys came out 4-1, convincingly winning. So what were the adjustments made between those two games?
Oh man, played better defense. We didn't have any errors in the second game, and we got the timely hitting. So the pitching was good enough. It kept us in the game. For one of the games that one of the better games we have played all season, to where we got the pitching, the defense, and the timely hitting was the big difference in the second game.
Right, Coach, and you talk about hitting because I've talked to some of the players, and one thing that they said to me was the difference between last year's team and this year's team was that they feel that they have better hitters. They can get on base more. They can have that better on base percentage, slugging percentage, and things of that nature. So would you agree with that assessment?
Oh yes, yes sir. Anytime you're had a season like we had last year where we were scoring 15, 16 runs a game and maybe 30 runs in a series, it comes on timely hitting and understanding what we are as a team when it comes offensively. This year's been a little struggle because of some new guys that we put in place quietly don't understand what it takes to be consistent at the plate. We have shown signs of it this year where we'll score. I mean, we have 15 hits or we've scored 8, 12 runs in a game. We just haven't been consistent with doing it. We're not a home run hitting team.
Right.
We're a contact type of team to where we use our speed and our smarts on the base pads and we not being as consistent with it as it was last year, but we getting there.
Right, Coach, and we talk about those struggles because it's been kind of tough sledding come this season. So and we know that last game it was a bit of the fielding being the errors, and then you say overall it could be the hitting. So if there was one thing that you could point your finger at, what would you say that needs to improve to get the team back in the way that it needs to go?
Oh, defense. Pitching the defense is what wins games.
Right.
Timely hitting can also help you win games. So pitching the defense is what's going to actually keep you in the games. You can have 4 hits in the game and still win a game.
Right.
You can get out hit in the game and still win a game. But you have to pitch, you have to throw strikes, and you have to play defense.
Right. Now, Coach, we talk about that. How you guys have kind of getting things turned around. You've won against Grambling and you won the doubleheader both games against Jarvis Christian. So what do you think has gotten the ship turned around to where you guys look like you guys are heading in the right direction? Team first type of baseball. Those 3 games was team first type of baseball, where we come in and do whatever it takes for our team to win, even though it doesn't, it doesn't, help the player. You know what I mean? And what I mean by that is we got a guy at third base less than 2 outs and hit a ball to second base. Right.
Well, he helped the team out, but yet it didn't go against his stats. So when we play like that, then we have a chance to win any game. Right, Coach. And I noticed that yesterday because you guys were doing a lot of sacrifice bunts. So what is it that you kind of instill into those players to make sure they put the team first rather than trying to get those individual stats? Fundamental baseball, you play good fundamental baseball, you have opportunity to win games. In situations to where we can sacrifice bunt, and you always got somebody at second base. When you always have somebody at second base, then you have a chance to score on a base hit. So we try to play fundamentally sound baseball, give ourselves a chance to win. It don't work out for us all the time. You definitely don't want to give up outs early in order to do that and then don't score. But if you go with the percentages, then I'm gonna do it every time.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, Coach, that's honestly understandable because I always say that baseball is a game of ups and downs, right? You're gonna have your hidden slumps. Sometimes you may not be fielding the best. Sometimes the pitching may not be all the way there. But as long as you can capitalize on those key moments. But Coach, I want to ask you about one player specifically because every time I look at the stat sheet, his name seems to be at the top, whether it be hitting percentage, on base percentage, and things of that nature. I mean, great third baseman, Benjamin Yabara. So tell me a little bit about him and how he's been that standout player.
Wow, he's the ultimate team first guy, right? I think he's maybe hitting 350 right now, I think, but he can easily be hitting 400. He gives himself up all the time to help the team. He's a hard out, if not one of the hard outs in our conference, and that's the reason why I have him hitting in the 3-hole. He's not your prototypical 3-hole guy. You may have him in the 2-hole, but he give us a better chance to win because he can drive in runs.
Right.
He's not the guy that you would want to come up to hit when you got guys in scoring position less than 2 outs because that run is probably going to score.
Right.
He worked hard at it. He understands what he needs to do in order to help his team, and he work on it every single day. So he's the reason why some of the success that we're having this season, especially the last 3 games with the winning streak, is the reason why we're on top on those 3 games.
Right, Coach. Now you talk about that work ethic that he has, and we think about how many games that baseball plays, and the wear and tear on the body that comes with that. So how is it that you try to keep these players getting ready and staying healthy throughout the season?
Well, we try to make sure that they eat the right things. Nutrition is key. We have them in the weight room twice a week, and we tell them to take care of their bodies because you can't take care of your bodies and you can't be on the field. So we try to push the nutrition and make sure that they get in the weight room and make sure they get to see the trainers and stuff when they have any type of ailments and things like that. So that's what we try to tell them.
Right, Coach, and that's encouraging to hear. I know that is encouraging to hear for all the people watching. And Coach, you've been here for 7 years now. So tell me what has it been to be a part of the progression of PV baseball, and how has it been under your leadership?
To be honest with you, it's been up and downs. It's not quite where I would want it to be. But going into last year, we finally hit our mark of where we want to take the program, and it's just one of those things where you have to make sure that you're bringing in the right fit, the type of kids and stuff that you want, and I think we did that going into last year, and this year as well. It just took us a little longer than I expected.
Right.
I just try to bring in good character kids, kids that believe in team first mentality when it comes to baseball. I like to bring in kids that love the preparation. You know what I mean? Like, you'll have kids that want to just play. If they don't like the practice, they don't like the preparation, and that's what we're trying to change the culture of the past 3-4 years of me being here. So I love the kids that like the preparation. And Benjamin is one of those kids. He's one of the first ones there and one of the last ones to leave, and we need more guys like him.
Right, Coach. Now, when we talk about that winning culture and trying to establish that within the baseball team, and we think about kids like Benjamin and many others of that like, who would you else say stands out to you in your mind in that respect?
Zachary Trevino.
Okay.
Just a kid that, it doesn't matter what it is, he'll do it for the team. He works his butt off as well. He's another kid that I can play at short, I can play at second, I can play at third, I can stick him in the outfield. He just loves the game of baseball. But not only that, he loves PV.
Right.
And he loves to win. So it doesn't matter. He'll do whatever it takes to win. So Zachary Trevino is a great kid.
Right, Coach. And you talk about, you have to love the game to really succeed in the game. And we think about how the SWAC has changed over the years. We have 2 new teams, Bethune-Cookman and FAMU, added to the schedule. So how has that been for you when it comes to preparation?
Preparation is key. It haven't changed for me. I'm up all night trying to find ways to get us better. I have sleepless nights sometimes,
Okay.
you know what I mean? Like, so, no, it's all about preparation for me. All right? And so if I'm prepared, then I can prepare my kids. And that's all we can do as coaches is to make sure that our kids are prepared to go out and compete every day. And, you know, some days it's going to be different. Some days you're going to be 100%, some days you're going to be 80%, you know, but it doesn't matter. You still got to go out and compete, right? So competing and preparing the kids and, preparing the kids to compete is what I try to do every day to get them to go out and be successful as they can be.
I mean, Coach, that's understandable because, I mean, you got a big weekend coming up. You got 2 games Friday and Saturday against Alcorn State. So what can we expect in those games come this weekend?
Oh, man, you can expect some guys to go out there and compete. You know what I mean? Go out there and compete, be a little hungry to win. We're on, like you said, we're on a 3-game winning streak. Guys like to win.
Right.
You know, and they got a little taste of it, and this is what started for us going into last year to winning. And so I expect these guys to come out and be hungry and compete just like they competed the last 3 games in order to pull these games off.
Right, Coach, and that's great to hear because I know the stands should be packed come this weekend. I mean, the baseball team, I was out there yesterday. It was just a great environment seeing those guys getting ready to play in their home opener, matter of fact. So, Coach, my last question to you would be, because we got a lot of alumni watching, you got a lot of parents watching, you got a lot of future kids who may think PV could be the place for me. So what would you say to those kids or to those alumni, to those parents? What are we getting with PV's baseball program?
Wow, you're getting a coaching staff, you know, that is loyal to the university, to the kids. You're getting a coaching staff that the #1 goal is the kids, from graduating kids to getting the kids to prepare for life after baseball. You know, so when you bring your kids here, you won't have to worry about them not being prepared for life after Prairie View and life after baseball. We'll make sure that we keep them on the straight and narrow and be successful in whatever they do.
Right, Coach. And man, I know that all the alumni watching, all the parents watching, that's something that they would want to hear. And Coach, I can't thank you enough for joining us. It's always good talking baseball with you. I mean, baseball, honestly, baseball was my favorite sport growing up. It's the first sport I picked up. So it's always good to talk baseball with you, Coach. Thank you for joining us. And we want to make this a weekly thing to get your insight onto what the team is going through. And that is it for the Coach's Corner. That was Coach Antoine Riggins. Thank you for joining us.